Hi, this is Debbie Cronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today because it's been ages since I've been here. I feel like I forgot how to do this almost, but I haven't. So I have a really fun project that I want to show you, and if you're on here with me or if you're watching the replay of this, please comment, because on Wednesday, December 13th, I will draw a name and send what I'm making today to the person whose name I draw. So it's a fun box that I have done in my clubs, and it just makes a sweet hostess gift if you're going somewhere. So I am ready to go. So I can show you one that I've made, but it's not finished because I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet. So this is one that I have made. It has these cute little pull-out drawers here that you can fill with Ferrero Rochers, or you can use the other, what are they called, lint, the lint balls, these. So you can put 4 of these in there, and they are just really fun to give, and it would just make a wonderful hostess gift, something that says thank you so much. So let's get started. So there, I'm starting with my designer series paper, and this is no longer available, unfortunately. That's the one that I have been working with, so I stayed with it. But you could use any Christmas designer series paper. And this is cut at, I'm not going to give you measurements because I have the measurements. I'll put those on my blog, but it's 7.5 by 7.5 now that I've measured it. And these are 6 1/8 by 6 1/8. The paper pumpkin inserts are perfect for this because you just cut off one side at 6 1/8 and you're good to go. So I'm going to start with adhering my paper to my chipboard. And we want this to stick good. And I'm just going to center that. I could have done one of these, just like that. And keep in mind that this inside won't be showing. You could cover it if you would like to. It's totally up to you. Boy, I kind of like this side better than the other side. I'm going to use this side, so I'm going to put the adhesive on here and put this on. So right now, Stampin' Up's having a huge clearance sale on the holiday papers. There's also refreshment on the clearance rack. So keep that in mind when you hop on there to see what's there. They have done a refresh on the clearance rack. So we're just going to let this dry for a minute here. Get a good set. So, excuse me. And in the meantime, I'm trying to pull up my page here to make sure it's working. I'm not going to worry. Evidently, it's working because it's looks like it is on the screen, right? Do I need to tip this a little bit just to get you guys a little better picture? Let's just make sure it's working here. Okay. Usually it pops right up, but it's not doing that. Of course, it's showing me everything else in the world because I'm on the wrong page. That's why. Okay. All right. So then on this, I'm sorry about that, guys. This is going to, I'm not even sure I'm on here. I want to make sure I'm on here though before I go any further. I don't want to do this whole video and then find out that it's not on there. So give me just a minute here. Oh, they've changed Facebook again. Okay. Let's see if I get on here. Ah, it is there. Okay, great. Okay, so now you're going to take a pair of paper snips and we're going to trim these corners. You want to go about 1/8 of an inch from the very corner there of the board, of the chipboard. However, if you go over is better than going under. You can always cut it again. And if you don't cut it again, you can fold it and make a nice little finish on it. So hopefully I have cut one of them too big, and I'll show you how to do that. So, but you're just gonna trim those off. That one looks kind of big. And there we go. So let's get rid of those. We're not gonna keep those for anything. Okay. So now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to hold this down, put my folder underneath here and crease along here just to be sure that it's folding right on the edge of my chipboard. See, that one looks long. Okay, good. That way I can show you how to fix that if you need to. This project will take some time. It's not one you're gonna do right, and just, ooh, I'm done. It will take some time. Okay, so now I'm gonna adhere each of these over here onto this. Okay, here's an example right here. So I want to make sure I press down right here, and this end is gonna be okay. So I almost prefer that they are too long, and I like the finish that it gives me here on the corner. It gives me a nice edge. As soon as this adheres, I'll show you. So it gives a nice edge here, a nice fold, and it makes for a nice edge, even though it was too long. Or I could have gone back and trimmed it off a little bit more. You can always take some off. You can't put it back on. And if you cut it too short, then you will have gaps, and those gaps will kind of show. So both of these are cut too long, so I'm just gonna take my bone folder, press down right along there, and go ahead and put my adhesive on here. I like the green glue for this because it allows me some freedom to adjust if I need to. And it adheres well. So there is the first one, and that is number 1. So let's do the bottom now real quick. Oops, I missed a corner here. And same thing on this one. I'm gonna take my bone folder. So you'll do this for the bottom and the top. This is such a nice sturdy box. It's just a real fun box. I did this in my groups this month. So if you were part of my groups, this is the same box that we did. And and I told them I had a class of 1st through 3rd graders that I did these with one time. Not quite the same box, but theirs had more drawers. And we had 3 weeks to do it, which was 3 days, 3 classes to do it. And they did great, amazingly. They did really good. They got it. So even my 1st graders got it. So anybody can do this. Whoops, I have an uneven corner here. Let's see if I can fix that. I didn't get my bone folder in there all the way, maybe. I think it's that one that's uneven. So I'm going to just come down like that and pull that up, and that looks better. There we go. Yeah, that's it. We want to be careful. We don't want glue on our background here because it'll rip our paper, which we've got a little bit of paper off of that paper on here now. I don't want to do this because I want to give this away and I want your box to be beautiful. Okay, I'll take an eraser and get that off. Okay, let's just crease that again. And this one's a little bit long on this end, so give it a crease there. And it won't hurt to do that end too. Okay, our top and bottom are done. There. And we're going to set those aside and let them dry. And if you burnish them with a bone folder a little bit, it'll adhere better. It just kind of helps your glue soak in. Okay. I've got a little pucker here. Let's get that. Okay, we're going to put those aside, let them dry. And we're going to work on our drawers. Okay, so for our drawers, we're going to take a piece of Night of Navy cardstock and the paper trimmer. And like I said, all these measurements will go on my blog. So I'm going to start with, I have to look at my instructions again. It's been about a week since I cut these. So this is going to be 8, let's see, Night of Navy, 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. I know it's square. I wrote 8 1/2. It's 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. I'll have to fix that on my instructions. Make a mark on those. It was a typo. Okay, by 8 1/4, because I have to be square. And I love this because it has the arm and I can use it on a large sheet of paper. I can go all the way up to almost 18 inches, 17 inches on this paper trimmer. So it's a great paper trimmer. Okay, now I'm going to score that at 1 3/8 and 2 3/4. So 1 3/8, let's get rid of our cutting blade. 1 3/8. And you know what, guys? I'm not going to do it on here. I'm much better with my scoring tool. So let's get that out. Because I can go all the way across here. So it's 1 3/8, which is just the mark before 1 1/2. 2 3/4, if I remember right, yep, 2 3/4. And then you can go right across and do 5 1/2 and 6 7/8. And I had all these marked. I just took that off, okay? Then you can rotate it and do it 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, half, and 6 7/8. And you're done. At least with one of them. You would have to do 4 of those. So you would need 4. Okay, now it doesn't matter, it's square, so it doesn't matter what is what, okay? So just pick a side, and you're gonna cut all of these outside edges off to start with. So all of your outsides, both squares here are gonna get cut off. And I have a diagram of this also in my instructions, so you'll know how to do this if you're making your own. If you don't win the one that I'm giving away. So let's cut all of those off. I could do this with a paper trimmer, but I find it easier almost to do it. I get better cutting when I do it myself. Otherwise I go over a little bit because I can't see exactly where it goes. But the paper trimmer is good for this. So if you're good with the paper trimmer, go for it. And that's okay. Okay. And if you like your scissors, then okay. Now on the next one, we're going to cut this up. We want to go straight up here. And we're going to do this on all of them. And then I'm going to cut this off just above the score line and angle these, because these are going to be my tabs that are going to help my box stay together. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on all 4 sides now. This is also easier to do with a larger pair of scissors. Let me grab my bigger scissors. just trim that off and trim this off. You want to leave something. You want to leave a tab there. You don't want to cut it off totally. So, same thing here. Come up. Cut this across just above it. It won't hurt if you cut that a little short. And a wedge there and there. Okay, next one is same thing. And when you do enough of these, you're really comfortable with it. Once you get past the first one is a little more challenging. Okay, all of these are just scraps, and we're not doing anything with any of those. So they would be good for die cutting, but for me, I have so many scraps all the time that they're going in the trash. In the recycle bin, how about that? Okay, now we want to take a bone folder and we want to burnish all these lines. All of our score lines get burnished nice and crisp so that they'll fit well in those boxes. Okay, and that across here. Lots of lines here. And two more. Let's fold that down. And this one. Okay, now we're going to punch a hole, but this is really important on where you punch your hole, okay? Because we have all of this. I just thought of something. I think I can zoom out. I don't know. Okay, so we have all of these edges. These two are going to fold in. They're all going to fold in. But what we want is we want to punch a hole for the little hole in the drawer, this little hole here. And we're going to do that on the edge that has the two flaps there. Not this edge. This edge has no flaps attached to it. So these are going to fold. The reason why is they're going to fold into there, and then you would see them through the hole. So we're going to punch the hole in the edge that has the tabs sticking out on the sides. I'm using a 3/4 inch hole punch, which we no longer carry, of course, but you could use a die and cut a circle there. Sorry about that. It's noisy. Okay, now I'm going to turn this over. So this is my outside, and I'm going to put adhesive on all of my tabs. I'm using the green glue. It's my choice, my preference. Probably should have used the Stampin' Seal Plus because it would dry quicker. This is going to take a little longer, but I like that I can adjust this. So I'm just going to fold this up, line up my corners really, really well. I want those lines to almost be invisible, the way that they line up on the corner there. And let's just hold it for a minute there. And do the other one as well. When you let go, be careful because they will. If it's glue, it will come undone. And I had one earlier that kind of adjusted, and I had to go back and see if I could adjust it. So, and then I'm going to put these two inside and put those in. This is where I lost control of my other one. And they all look like they're holding good. I'm just going to take my bone folder and press those together good so that they adhere nice and solid. Okay, now this box is actually a no glue box, so you would not have to glue this box. It folds together like this and the sides hold it together. But because you're pulling on it, I just feel more comfortable with mine if I glue them. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive in here. So when I close these down, they'll hold. And I'm going to put the two sides in first. And just press that with my bone folder. Crease it good. Same over here. And then put in my front here and my back. And you can see it bows a little bit just because it has so much, there's nothing cut off the edges. So just kind of want to shape it in there. And then it will fit in the sleeve. Okay, so now we have to make our sleeve. So our sleeve is made out of basic white, and it is going to be cut at 9 inches by 3 3/8. So 3 3/8. Set that aside for something else. By 9. The bone folder underneath there, it's hanging me up. By 9. Okay, and then you're going to score it at 2 13/16. So this one we have to do on here. 2 13/16. So that is just the line right before 3/4. It's on this. It's the little line right before 3/4. So that's 2 13/16 before 2 3/4. Yes. Okay. I always have to look. These 16ths, they get us, don't they? Okay. Then 4 1/4, which is here. Did I have a line there? 2 13/16. That was a line for something else. 2, oh, wait a minute. No, it's not. I did 11/16. Okay, we're going to go back and rescore that. It's going to be inside. Nobody's going to see it. Okay, so it is the third little mark before the 3. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3 on that little mark. That is 13/16. Sorry, 12/16 is 3/4. So one more would be 13/16. Okay, crazy. Okay, 7 1/16. I think it is. Yes, 7 1/16, which is where I am. That's why I have these little marks on here from doing this. And 8 1/2. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it this way and see my little mark there. I'm going to do it at 2, no. Rotate, and this is with 3/8 inch side at the top, and score at 13/16. So the 13/16 is over here again. And if you mark 13/16 there, I marked this edge so that I could do it at this edge. So just as a double check. Okay, so you're going to turn it and score it at 2 13/16. Crazy. So now we're going to cut out this little square right here. Just nice and straight. You can cut this side at an angle. Okay. Then you're going to cut each of these just so that there's a wedge on both sides. So this is at my score lines. Okay, and then this one I need to make sure I do this smaller one. Okay, this is super easy to put together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to burnish these score lines. This is I find where I put my bone folder. Okay, burnish the score lines there. And then I don't even burnish the other score lines because they're going to fold themselves. Leave this one unglued. You're going to glue these 3 down. And I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus for this, just because it'll be quicker. Okay, so those are going to glue down, these 2 and this one. Leave the large one on the end alone. And you'll see why eventually. Okay, so then I'm going to fold this over at this score line. And I'll burnish that. And I'm going to fold this one over at this score line, and they should come together. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, I did something wrong there. Let me grab this one. This one is all cut. I have an extra one over here. This one's all cut. So I did something wrong on mine. It was in that measurement, that first measurement. Okay, so let's put this one. And it doesn't matter which way it's going, guys. Like this one, you see this one, the large piece was on the right. On my other one, it was on the left, and that's because I cut 2 out of a sheet, and that was the way that they came out. So, so I'm going to fold these up. Okay. And I know my measurements are right. I just measured wrong. Okay, so I'm going to fold this over, and then I fold this one over, and see it comes right over to it. Right over onto that line. Okay. So then I'm going to adhere these 2 together by putting adhesive on this small flap and put them together. If this doesn't come together at the back, it's okay. You want to make sure it comes together, that this will wrap around at the front. That's the important part. Okay, so then I'm going to recrease and burnish those score lines. Okay, now you've got your little box. I'm getting sticky under here, so I'm going to fold that over. Okay, now we're going to close this up. And the reason is because this will give a smoother slide for your box, so it won't hang up. That's why we left it, because see, that's where we glued it together, and so this will give a smoother slide for the box, so that's important there. Okay, so there is our little sleeve, and you're going to go in your sleeve this direction, so it's got the lip there, and your box will fit in. Whoops, turn around the right way. And there we are. So if you've burnished your boxes and your sleeves, they should fit together without any problem. You may have to work on them, some of them, if you don't get them quite lined up right. You may have to work on them in order to get them to do that. Okay, so let's start with the bottom of our box. So here's the bottom of our box. Let's see if I can put this up a little bit and still keep it in focus. So you guys can see the whole screen. Okay. And I'm going to start with laying my boxes out. So I want to know where I'm going to go with them. So this is the front. I want the front here. So on this one, I want the front going off the side. On the next one, I want the front going that way. And on the next one, my front's going to go this way, because I have one opening here, one opening here, one opening here, and one opening here. Okay, so it looks like I'm okay on all sides. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can take it apart, take your drawers out, lay your things down, and take the chance that it's going to fit. Or you can just pick them up where they are and put this one in first. Okay, now I'm going to put this one in. Okay, now, if I need to adjust, this is where I would need to adjust. I want these 2 touching in the corner, and they look like they're perfect. Okay, so now be careful where you put your drawers. That's my biggest tip, or you'll end up with 2 drawers on one side and none on another. Okay, and so this one is going to go in here, and I just want to squish it in so that it comes in good and it's nice and snug. Fits. And this is my final one. And this one's going this direction. It should all be the same size, and so it should fit perfectly. And it looks like I'm good on the edges around. This one could be a little bit. That's what's good about the green glue. You can adjust it a tiny bit. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my paper strips to the sides. So I wanted to decorate the drawers. I didn't want to leave them white, so I cut some strips. These are not the ones that I wanted. Let me see if I can find some. I should have lots of strips here. Okay, these are the ones I want for this box. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these onto here. Just like that on those sides that are white, and I'm leaving a little border around it. And there's the next one. Just like that. And you're going to go around and put them on all four sides. It's easier to do it while it's still open. You have better access to it. And I'm just putting a little adhesive on the back, a little green glue. Actually, I should learn to call it what it's called. It's called Tombow multi-purpose glue. We call it green glue because it's in a green container. Okay, and one more. Okay. I think this would be super cute done with a bumblebee paper, so I think I'm gonna have to do one. Okay, now we're ready to put our top on. I do have a piece of what I want to call typewriter paper, but it's computer paper nowadays, and I'm going to attach that in there just to reinforce that area where those boxes are coming together, just to make sure that it's stable and glued well, and it'll make it easier for gluing my lid on. So then I'm also going to put my lid on now. So you're just going to decide which way it goes. Oh, and here, put your glue here instead of on your lid, because then you'll get it to the corners. And then just across the middle, everywhere. Okay, and then I'm going to attach this. Now, when I do this, I want to turn it so that I can be sure that it is sitting level. If it's sitting straight and level, and all my sides look good, which they do, then it's done, it's on. Okay, now for decorating the top, of course, I am going to, I have some Night of Navy here that I already embossed with silver embossing foil, silver embossing powder. I have a piece of basic white, and I'm going to attach that to the back of my Night of Navy. And I just stamped it with, let me show you what the stamp set was. There it is. Okay, it's called Brightest Glow. It came out last year, but it has such good Christmas greetings. I used this Merry Christmas right here. You could use anything you wanted, of course, any greeting or none. And then I'm just going to attach this. Whoa, wait a minute. I need my mat here because I can't see the edges on the white paper. Just like that. So I just have a small white border. It's 1/8 of an inch border going around. And then I cut the stars from the Stars at Night dies. So I'm going to put those together with dimensionals. I'll pull those out here. So and I'm going to take and cut. I have some, these are probably from Paper Pumpkin when I look at them. And I'm just going to cut some little pieces here that I can put on those arms of those stars. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Your name will be entered in a drawing, and I'll be giving away this cute little box filled with goodies. Oops. What did I do with it? It's stuck in my finger. Okay, so there is one star. And then my other star is so tiny. I think we'll just attach it with a mini dimensional here. Just like that. And then we're going to attach that to the front of the box. And for that, I am going to use my green glue because I want it solid on my box. Otherwise it could get knocked off, especially in shipping. And there we are. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to attach this to my box using dimensionals. So here we go, lots of dimensionals. Oops. And get one more. We want that to make sure it stays up. So we're going to put a lot of dimensionals on there. Okay. If you ever have trouble getting dimensionals off, just take your nail, press on it, it pops up on the corner edge. Whoops, and then grab it. Okay, let's turn this over. And we're going to center it. So what do I want my front top to be? Boy, that's a pretty star there that we're going to cover, but that's okay, we'll catch that one. Okay, there we are. I have one more star that I'm going to put right up here. And I'm just going to put a little glue on him. Almost like he's in the background. Just like that. Okay, there we are. So that is the candy box, and then it just pulls open and you add your candy. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Thanks, bye-bye.